After having discussed the different attack methods against passwords, now we can explain how to choose a good password. And a good password is a safe password, and a password is safe if it is difficult to attack, if it's difficult to guess, or it's difficult to crack. There are some advices for choosing good passwords. First advice is one should one should select case-sensitive characters forming passwords. One should create combinations of multiple words. One should add additional characters, for example, special characters. One should create passwords so that they contain digits. And what's important, password needs to have a minimal length. Minimal length is 10, at least today, and preferable even 12 characters. Why? It becomes more important and more difficult for the attacker to crack a password. Why? The longer the character length, the higher the security. And the reason is that each additional character increases, with each additional character, the complexity of cracking such a password multiplies by the number of different characters. So here you see, because we asked password need to be long, at least 10 digits. But here you can also see why we recommend that password is formed from many different character groups. Because the larger the number of the different characters, case-sensitive, special characters, digits, the higher is the factor to multiply the complexity, the crack complexity of a password. By the way, the technical term for this behavior, this exploding complexity when adding new characters is called that the complexity increases exponentially. And then there was an important hint that passwords should not be selected from a dictionary. They should not be selected from user context, because then password guessing or password cracking is easy. And then no old passwords should be used that were already used in the past, because one is not clear whether this old password was already cracked. Following these hints made it more difficult, much more difficult, to perform a brute force attack or a dictionary attack against password. Of course, every attacker can perform a brute force attack. Every attacker can perform a dictionary attack, but these attacks become very time consuming. So if you have long passwords with many different characters, it needs years to find out the password, and then perhaps the secrecy of your message is no more so high. This is how you can create good passwords. But of course, if you have created a password, you also should deal with the password in a very safe way. And you need to store the password, and this should be done safely. Safely means it should be stored in an area which is difficult to reach for the data thieves. It should be stored in an encrypted way. There are tools, so-called password safes, that help you to do this. Never use the same or similar password for different services. Also, this was an important hint, because we already discussed when an attacker gets access to a database of an internet service and is able to reveal the password, then he should not be able to misuse this password, this revealed password, with another service. One should never pass password to third parties. You remember this social engineering attacks were service member of the service staff asked to help you to do something on your computer and asked you to give him or her your password. It should be done never. Passwords should still be easy to remember so that they do not need to be written. Studies show that many people write down their password on a post-it which is close to the desktop of their computer. How one can remember difficult passwords? For example, one can use abbreviations. One can use initial letters of the words in a sentence. Here we speak from a mnemonic approach. So difficult passwords, which are needed as safe passwords, can be recalled if you remember, for example, a complete sentence, and if you use the initials of each word of the sentence to form the password. Here, to give you an example, the sentence is where there's a will, there's a way. And from that you can remember this password, which has only 9 digits, so we recommend 10, but it's helpful to show you the idea, because this uses different characters and it's not in a word list, but can easily be remembered when one remembers the phrase where there is a will, there is a way, and you see the A sometimes is replaced by 1, sometimes by A, but you will remember this when you have the sentence in your mind. What is the problem with secure passwords? We remembered you need an own password, an own secure password for each account. Many users in the internet have more than 20 internet accounts, have more than 20 internet identities, sometimes it's even 50 plus. No one can remember so many different strong passwords. By the way, that's the reason that many people try. They can use one password for all, but we saw that it's very, very dangerous and cannot be considered a secure password. A possible solution to this problem are so-called password safes. Password safes, it's a service or it is a program where all passwords are managed. Our passwords are managed. They are encrypted. The access to this password is encrypted with a very strong password, and then in the safe there are the other passwords stored. So here, with such password safe, one can let new passwords be generated from each new service and store this, and the system will be able to find this. So the automatic entry of passwords on web pages, so one no more has to remember the single password for the web service, the special service. One has to remember the one password, the one very strong password for the password safe. Now, I mentioned password safe could be a service or could be a program. It could be available offline on your computer by such a program, or it can be made available online using a cloud service. So if we speak about offline services, here are some recommendations: KeePass, Keeper, Splash ID, RoboForm, iPassword. These are quite famous password safe programs that you can install on your computer. They are basically safer since no third party can access the passwords. But backup must need to be done. Compared to using a service in the internet to store the passwords, if you do this by your own, if you do this with such an offline program, you need to be sure that you back up the data on a regular basis, so that if your system is compromised, you are able to reconstruct the data, and particularly to reconstruct your password data. So the database can be moved to the cloud, so you can hand over this update service to a cloud service. So there are different approaches. It is recommended here, to, for example, to use the KeePass. The KeePass password safe. You can use this program for free. Second approach for such password safes is to use it as a service provided in the internet. So these are the password safes. For example, like LastPass, iCloud, Keychain, Dashlane, which are services provided in the internet. So the password data base is stored online. Advantage, of course, is that passwords which are stored in that password safe are available on all devices. This is every time the advantage if you use a cloud solution. In the offline version, the passwords are stored on one machine. But of course, there is also a disadvantage. The service provider and the attacker may have access to all your passwords in such an online password safe. So it's your choice. In any case, you should select good, strong passwords, and there are means like this password safes that help you to deal and manage such strong passwords for you.